Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sith Dominion podcast. I'm Dr. Dana Martin, your host, and with me tonight is Cameron. Cameron, how are you doing tonight?
Chilling. Glad to be here as always.
Got you. Yeah, it looks like okay. Yeah, you were a little fuzzy and locked up, but we're good now. You
Yeah,
told
my
me to
bad.
lock it in just 5 seconds ago. You need to lock in your camera, sir. No, just
I'm
kidding.
locked in always. I'm locked in. You can't lock me out.
Oh my goodness, what a week. So yeah, no kickball, softball tonight for you, huh? You can be here straight
No,
away.
no softball, no kickball. Was homesick today.
Uh,
Fields are too wet to play, so we're chilling.
yeah, hiding out in the hoodie.
Hey man, it's cold in here.
Yeah, keep
I'm
it cool.
fortunate enough to have power.
Yes, yes. So many of folks that we probably know, I know that I know, are without power east of us in the Houston area. And so thoughts and prayers with those folks, and let's get that power back up. And if anyone needs somewhere to crash, if you know me, you have a place here. So, and that doesn't mean like Andrew, you can't come hang out at my house. Okay, Josiah maybe, but not Andrew. So just kidding. Neither of them were on. So usually pretty thin at this point in the night, Cameron, because the Acolyte is on right now. So we'll talk about episode 6 here in a bit. We have a couple other things to talk about, but just give me like a one sentence, 10-word max synopsis. You're feeling something. Give me something to look forward to in our conversation.
As my guy Zane says, mid.
Oh, okay.
Just mid.
Mid. That was less than 10. That was one word.
Hey man, we have for one episode of House of the Dragon, we actually have less amount of screen time for the Acolyte than we have for next week's episode of House of the Dragon. Just putting that into perspective.
Did you watch this week's episode of House of the Dragon?
Woods and I have not watched it. We unfortunately, our outlets and stuff in our apartment are messed up, and our living room TV, we are not able to watch it, and I refuse to watch it on my iPad. I want that thing on that 60-inch. So,
and you're gonna want this on your 60.
well, I've read Fire and Blood, so I already know what happens. So
I have it. So I was like, so
Hey.
good.
Hey, we're just getting started, man. Let me tell you.
Okay, look, we're a Star Wars show, okay, but maybe we have a little segment of a 10 minutes where we're talking about Game of Thrones shit because
We need to talk about good TV shows, man. I mean, that's what we need. We need to talk about some good stuff.
Well, and so this show, I think, at its peak is when we're talking about characters and that sort of writing and that shit, not these shows. But unfortunately, we got this show on right now. We can't ignore it like we tried to do. I just didn't have a show for 3 weeks. I guess my feeling is I snooze fest. And it may not be. I've been so fair, but I tried to watch the night before or the little segment while I'm eating my dinner before the show. I try to watch just to recap the previous week, and I fall asleep in my chair trying to watch this thing. And it's not just because I know what's coming in the episode, because I'm always willing to get, oh, I missed that earlier. Oh, they did make that connection. Oh, what did I, always trying to be fair like that. And this episode was just, come on. It's like you had 10 minutes of content that you had to stretch into 31 minutes or whatever this episode was.
Yeah, I saw that's where they said something like that for episodes 4 and 5 or something were like split. Like, how are you having filler episodes in a 8-episode 29-minute show per episode? Like, we don't need filler.
We do have next week show is 43 minutes, or tonight's show is 43 minutes. Next show's so yeah, you're 90 minutes, right? Is what you kept saying, 90 minutes of show left after last night. So yeah, I got 2 whole episodes of 45 minutes apiece.
And we got the Soul storyline. We got I mean, Osha's clearly going to become the Acolyte, I think, because apparently her and May and Osha have flipped.
I've seen
And
that. It's called The Parent Trap. I'm sorry.
yeah, but that was a probably better project than what we're getting right now. And then you've got Leslie Headland said there's 2 Sith. Well, where's the other Sith? Who's the master? You know, we got lightsaber whip lady, who, by the way, sorry, I know we're getting a little ahead. They had to have a beaver tracker to find what's his name, and the weak looking Jedi that stormed the planet found their remains in like 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, and Soul speeding away right as they're coming in. Like there's no semblance of time in this show. So there's no semblance of, like, we're not able to feel any tension. Everyone's just able to get places.
Mm-hmm.
It reminds me of, speaking of Game of Thrones, like season 7 and 8 of Game of Thrones. Like there was still a lot more tension in those seasons, but especially in season 8, like people were just able to get to places, and like it would take you. I know Coruscant's like center of the galaxy, but like this would take you forever to get places.
Yeah,
and
we know from real canon that there sometimes it takes days, weeks to get across the. It is what it is. It's a long way.
It's like when they introduced like hyperspace jumping in the sequels. I was just like, well, why did Han never ever do that ever? It it might have appeared in Legends. I haven't read any novel where that's happened yet, but
I haven't either.
I haven't heard that. So, like the Holdo maneuver, you're just like, what?
Maneuver. That I do. I just
don't feel anything, man. I don't feel any tension. I don't feel attracted to the characters. Not attracted. I don't feel invested in the characters. I feel terrible for Khmer and the Khmer actor and the Soul actor. Like they're giving their best with what they've got, but it's not a whole lot. So
no, I told my wife tonight, like I'm literally only watching the show because I have to. I would have already stopped, and that's saying something for a guy who clamored for more content. Oh, is that right? Why don't you come on the show and say something about that, Jay's wing?
He is pretty attractive for a man. I'm not into that type of stuff, but he's an attractive
if I could be that lean and cut.
Oh yeah.
The problem is that what we're waiting on right now? Your tacos, Zane? Did you literally just say your tacos are almost done?
Hey man, they'll be eating them on stream. We ain't trying to see all that.
Unbelievable. So it is Tuesday, the 9th of July. I think we need to start time stamping our episodes for whatever. Then I'll be longer. If you don't eat on camera, it'll be longer. Thanks, Zane, because now I don't even know what I was going to say.
Enjoy the meal.
Yeah, just enjoy yourself, jerk. Let's talk real quick about a couple of things here. Total War. Have you ever played Total War? No,
sir.
I haven't either. But apparently, there's a huge following for Total War. It's a huge series of games that's gone on for 20 years. I know very little about it. I just know that as of like the last couple days, something has been rumored out of that camp that they're going to do a Star Wars Total War. Now, Total War, they have Total War like the colonization period, Rome, whatever, Cowboys versus Aliens. No, that's a movie. All kinds of stuff, and then you build up your whatever, and you go to war, whatever.
Yeah, I'm reading the article.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about. I don't want to say copy games where you're just reskinning as Star Wars. I like skinned stuff like in the Overwatch or whatever, and you get the Star Wars whatever. Like that stuff's cool.
Is this
I don't know.
mobile?
I don't believe so. I
Like
think
it's like
Total War
actual
is like yeah, yeah.
console? What?
I think you can get it on Steam. So we need a we need a producer for the show that can like do shit for us when we ask a question.
Oh yeah, it is on Steam.
There you go. So let me pull that up real quick and I will do a search. Total War. Oh yeah, they got like Warhammer, Shogun. I heard Shogun was a real good one. Let's just
Hey,
pick that. Go
did
ahead.
you watch the Shogun series
I
on
haven't
Hulu?
watched it yet. Is it good?
Man, I heard it's good. I hadn't watched it either. I don't know why. Been all my complaining and moaning, and groaning about wanting good TV, and I hadn't watched Shogun yet. So
Uh,
that's on me.
do they not have a video for this? All right, whatever. So anyway, it looks like Sega's the publisher. Um, I didn't know that. Good for them.
That's good.
Yeah. Anytime I see Sega, it makes me happy and gives me a little throwback. Um,
Sonic the Hedgehog is a special place in my heart.
let me tell you, there was nothing like that, and it was so fast. Like I watch it now, and I'm like, how did I do this? I can't.
Hey, just want to point this out. Speaking of fan quote unquote backlash absolutely changing a film,
Yes.
just want to say sometimes when you listen to your fan base, good things happen to you.
And they rewarded it enough to have a good showing for the second one.
And they got Jim Carrey to come back. He never does
Yeah.
sequels. Ever. And he came back for Sonic 2? Come on, brother. Come on. Listen to your paying customers. That might be a good concept for cough cough Disney to follow.
Mostly.
Dude, you don't have the green screen? And I
Not
love
tonight. What? You dig it?
I love it. I love it. It looks sick.
Yeah. Alexa, make my office 75%. It's a little bright up there. There you go. That's a little better.
I thought you were gonna say make it purple. I was gonna be like, I'm getting off the stream.
No. Although purple is my favorite. I look good in purple. This isn't purple. This is gray. But
He looks good in purple.
What are you gonna do? I do not have a purple lightsaber though. Not yet. I wanted that mace. My lightsabers. Maybe I
Clean.
should do a tour one night of the
Are those Black Series or what?
pre-Black Series. Those are master replicas. Well,
Nice.
two of them are master replicas. Those were master replica was the first for real I know lightsabers aren't real. It was the first kind of for real lightsaber back in the late 90s, early 2000s before Hasbro bought the rights for quote unquote Star Wars lightsabers and then made them cheaply. So yeah, I got a couple of those, and then I got one from Savi's workshop when I was there that I built, and that was just freaking sick. Yeah, Jay's Wing, he got maces from Disney. That Mace Windu lightsaber, man, is sick looking though. God, sick. And then I always wanted Sidious's too. Darth Sidious, man. I'm all about the sabers.
What if
go ahead.
what do you think about this kind of little free acolyte topic too? What how do you feel the fact that the lightsaber battles feel so different? Because I feel like, I mean, the Jackie actress, I mean, she's done action movies. I think his name's Manny Jacinto. I mean, he athletic guy. I mean, why do these like the lightsaber fights just felt so different? Like it feels like they're I think I saw Nick Giller talking about this. Like they have like these like kung fu people and professional like martial artists that are like doing these fights,
Mm-hmm.
and they want to make it feel like kung fu, but that's different than what the prequel fights feel like. And I don't feel like giving them a pass in the fact that, oh well, like sequels, even though with the new Ahsoka and the training videos with Anakin and all that, why shouldn't give that to Luke? Just beyond me. But um oh, Luke wasn't able to, maybe he wasn't able to master all the forms or whatever, which would be canonically incorrect for lore accurate Luke, but um they don't feel like the same fights, and I feel like they'd want to have some type of like continuity with the fighting and make it feel like, well, this is the Jedi at their height, and yeah, they don't attack the unarmed, which whatever. But like it just, I don't know. And I know it's impossible to compare it because the prequel fights are just, I mean,
Masterful.
no stunt doubles for majority of the actors outside of probably like Mace and Palpatine, but like and Dooku because Christopher Lee's like 90. But I mean, those. They spent what 3-4 months on the Obi-Wan Anakin fight.
Yeah.
They
Yep.
spent 4 years to make this show, and we're having to like my forever gripe. We're having to watch it in like damn near black and white, but
It's so dark.
and we got to dodge trees. But it looks like we got some bot in the chat.
Yeah, let's get rid of that.
Yeah, hey guys, do not click that.
Do not click that
click
link.
that.
How come I can't get rid of them? I don't know how to get rid of them.
Do not click that. You will have a virus on your computer or mobile device.
How do you boot somebody?
I ain't got no permissions.
Yeah, I don't know how I can boot someone.
Oh, is that on Facebook?
Yeah. Do it. Yes, Andrew. Do it. Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, somebody at GNN watching the pod, we need you to take care of that.
Ain't nobody at GNN watching our pod. Hey, Andrew, sorry. Present company excluded, of course. Hey, Andrew, we talked about you right at the beginning of the show.
I'm reporting it for bullying and harassment.
There you go.
Me.
Bot twist, the bot is camera. That would be some good writing.
He's harassing me.
Oh my goodness.
Andrew, that's hurtful, man. I wouldn't do something like that. I'd have my name attached.
Dude, your
You gotta
dog
know
looks
it's me.
like they're about to take off. That dog
Dude.
is over your shoulder. Like,
That's the problem with the allergies, man. Between all these pets I got in here and just what's going on outside, man, I'm dying. Somebody give me another Benadryl.
So to comment on that martial arts stuff, I was actually really excited when I heard that they would be doing some of this. And I say that because of the Legends stuff surrounding Terras Kasi. And actually in the Star Wars Galaxies video game by Sony, that was forever. And I love that game. And we need to have some. Yes, GNN After Dark. We will have one of those very soon. Maybe
Amen.
on Discord, on our new Discord channel. Server.
Ooh.
What?
Leak.
What? Did we just leak
it?
that? Oh shit! It's not ready yet. There might be a Discord.
It's still in progress.
Yeah. But DM me if you want to get in on the ground floor of the structure and org of the Sith Dominion Discord server.
Yeah, we need some help. We need some smart Discord peeps in there.
Some smart Discord peeps. I'm gonna need the link when it's made. Andrew, DM me. On Facebook is fine. So, on that, Legends, Terras Kasi. in the Galaxies game had it as a path of fighting combat style. So I was fine, and I was excited. Okay, let's say that I was excited to see what they would do with it. There was a failed video game, Masters of Terrascasi, and it was a Star Wars fight game, and it was dumb. But the actual you can Wikipedia. There's mention of it several times. I'm okay with it. What I'm not okay with is making it like Equilibrium Gun Kata, if you're familiar with that, because what you've done now is
What
you've
is that?
thrown. Okay, so Equilibrium was a Christian Bale movie from late '90s, early 2000s. Kind of dystopian future. You got to take injections to not feel, and Christian Bale kind of figures it
I'll
out.
look that
And
up.
whatever. It's a great movie, and it's super fun. The gun kata stuff where they're shooting but doing kung fu at the same time. Like it's just, if you're an eye candy action movie type, it's worth it. It's so fun. Equilibrium with Christian Bale. Oh, and I can't remember the actor's name, the Scottish actor that played Robert the Bruce in Braveheart. He's in it as well. And Tay Diggs is in it as well.
Are you talking about Sean Bean?
Sean Bean's in it also. Yeah. And you know, if Sean Bean's in it, someone's going to die. Probably Sean Bean.
Boromir. We love Boromir.
Yes.
And Ned Stark. R.I.P. brother.
So,
Spoilers.
yeah, go check that out. Not a Star Wars, but the premise, right? So now I'm like, okay, something kind of similar, but the way they're doing it, for me, just my opinion, you're messing with the whole canonical lightsaber form stuff. Like, there's a reason forms exist, and there's a reason that you see Anakin and Obi-Wan. Okay, for Kenobi, there are moments in that show that are amazing, and one of them is when they were just real subtly shifting their form. They were shifting form. As one would do one form, the other would do the other. Like, it was awesome.
Hey,
so what?
There's a great YouTube video I just watched by this YouTuber, Star Wars YouTuber that I really like, Stupendous Wave. He did a YouTube video on how, like, Obi-Wan and Anakin, like the fact that Anakin was becoming so powerful during the Clone Wars and quote unquote advancing his skills in the Force with the lightsaber, like Obi-Wan naturally had to adapt, and he got better too because they were sparring and doing those type of things. And I say it all the time, dude, but the Revenge of the Sith novelization of that fight, so good. Really weird line comparing like Anakin and Obi-Wan. I think the line's like they're almost as intimate as lovers in terms of just how the battle is going. How like Anakin is literally with every swing is trying to kill him, and Obi-Wan is giving everything that he has to just block. And the only
hold on. I thought that Jedi only draw their weapon if they intended to kill. I'm sorry, dude.
Different era Jedi or whatever. But like you said, like there's little subtleties like that. Yeah. And there's a reason all those forms are there. And there's a reason why Nick Gillard and George, they spent time and crafted that and made that such an integral part of the sequels, and why it's so important of why Yoda and Palpatine are masters of all the forms, and why everyone only uses certain forms, and why when Anakin becomes Vader, he has to adapt compared to his Anakin form. I think Anakin's form 5, right?
Yes.
And Obi-Wan was, I think, form 2. I think he was form 2 during the Maul fight, and then after the Maul fight, he switched to form 4, something like that. But they don't talk about that.
Mm-mm. Well, okay, so here's the thing. Are we... we're super fans.
Probably more fans than the people that make the projects.
When we are watching, we're watching with our heads and our hearts. So our entire being, we're watching, and we are critical of anything that's going to fall outside the lines to a point. I don't think every fan is going to be a turd. I think when it falls away from the whole premise of what we believe this to be, based on what we know of George saying or Filoni saying or whatever, when we see stuff that's fallen away from that, that's whenever for me it gets I get pissed off. It's like, what are you doing? Okay, I get the thread. It's a different way to look at the Force, but then it kind of that's not even what the Force is. That's not even what the Force. I don't, because we've seen what the Force is. We've heard what the Force is. This kind of is a segue. I've got a clip. Did you watch that clip?
Yeah, the Ahmed Best clip.
So I've got some thoughts on this, and I would love to hear your thoughts. I am not 100% behind what is being said here.
He's just he got to a point where he was just yapping.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, we get it. You talked with George, bro. I love you. I love Jar Jar. One of my favorite characters in the entire saga, and I will not apologize for it. But
are you for real right now? Why are you messing with me?
No, I'm dead, dude. That movie was made for me. Seeing the Phantom Menace in theaters only made me love Jar Jar more, arguably.
Oh my gosh, that's right. You were a child when that
I was
came out.
one. I don't even think I was one when the Phantom Menace came out. I think I was like 6, 8 months old. Let's see. When's that release date? Sorry, I'm just rubbing it in, but I got to confirm at this point.
Look, I know it. I get it. I'm old. I get it.
Yeah, I was 7 months old. Oh, I'm fuzzy now. Focus up, camera. Focus up.
All right. There we go.
George looks good, man. He looks good for his age. My brother,
Yeah.
aging like fine wine with no stress.
How many billions does it take to look like that at that age?
Well, I don't know. Have you seen the stock price lately? He's probably lost. He probably sold though when it was going down. Like a smart guy.
Hold on. Look, hold up. Andrew, you're killing me, brother. Seriously?
Dang, son.
That's all right. Don't worry, Cam. You like Jar Jar too. All right,
Yes,
in that
let's
case,
go, Andrew.
I need you to rescind your DM if you DM me.
I'll send it to you, bro. We need
like,
more Jar Jar
man.
lovers in here. We need more Jar Jar lovers in here, man.
Got to see it in theaters this year. Yeah, man, it was fun in theaters. I enjoyed it.
I wish they would have done 4K, man. Like, I understand 25-year release. You want to give the audience the original feel, but like with technology and stuff now, like, just give it to us in 4K, man. Like,
yeah,
let me see it. Let me see it. But it's aging. It's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
Still looks pretty good though.
I wasn't born for Jar Jar. No, you were not. I was just about to ask, are you done with your tacos? Can you come on the show?
My boys,
Like,
and he is enjoying every bite.
I know, but I
More
do
power to you,
dig
brother.
this guy's. I was born the same day that Revenge of the Sith came out. Man, I've got a great story about Revenge of the Sith. Okay, and I don't regret it. Jeez, killing me. Let's just say that I had some tummy issues during the Revenge of the Sith. I'll tell that story probably on an After Dark. All right, let's take a peek at this. Jay's Wing, if you want to join after this, that'd be really awesome, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, you said something in our chat pre-show today about this kind of thing. So I'm going to play this. It's like 3 minutes, so I don't care. Bear with me. We're going to watch this because it's good.
In a recent interview, George Lucas said that people today don't understand the Force, which led a lot of people to jump to conclusions. But on the 25th anniversary of The Phantom Menace this year, he had a long conversation with Ahmed Best. And in that conversation, George described what he meant. And this last weekend at Rebel Scum Con, Ahmed explained.
But George was just like, now everybody gets this Force thing wrong. Everyone thinks that the balance is from him, and not from me. Everybody thinks that the balance is the light side and the dark side. That's
Uh-oh.
I got Okay, so we're gonna pause this real quick. So the premise of this, Ahmad Best says he got this from George Lucas about the Force, the balance of the Force, and what it truly means. Now, we've heard from Dave Filoni. We've heard on this show. We've heard from Kanan, freaking what's his name, Freddie Prinze Jr. We've heard from Lucas, and now we're hearing from Ahmad Best from George Lucas. Shout out to Josiah.
My boy.
There you go. Misa Jaja, you're killing me, Haley. All right. So let's continue. Here we go.
That's not the case. The light side is balanced. The dark side is out of balance. The dark side is easy. It's accessible. It's corruption. It's the easy way out. It's the not practicing, right? Yin and yang is white and black, right? Hot and cold. You don't judge your stove evil and your refrigerator good because one is hot and one is cold, right? You need both in order to make good food. You need both in order to eat. So when you're talking about the Force, and you're talking about being in balance with the Force, it's not the dark side versus the light side. It's the light side as balance, and the dark side as being the place you don't want to go because it's too easy.
Time out.
He makes good points, and then he kind of like, I don't know. I agree with like half the statement.
Look, yes. No, yes. I agree with like half of what he's saying. And I can't believe that George Lucas, I've never heard this from him. I've never read this from him, where he's going with this. I've heard what he's saying about half of it that I've heard from Lucas before, but not that the light side is balance. And I could be wrong. Viewers tell me I'm an idiot. But just for this, don't just tell me I'm an idiot. And Cameron, am I wrong? Like, has he ever said the light side is the balanced?
No, I mean I have heard him say that the light side is the good side. Like that is the side that is the correct side.
Yes,
but
agreed.
Okay, so Lucas has said it before. I do remember it coming up.
Oh,
He
Lord.
has said it before.
Hold on.
We
Hi,
need your
Zane. Welcome to
receipts.
the show.
We need your receipts, the Grand Admiral. Pull them up.
Yeah. Where's that support?
Hey guys, our lore master is here, but we will continue. But anyways, I don't like how he says that the dark side is easy and doesn't take training. Like that's not true.
True.
Like powerful dark side users train and fall arguably deeper into the dark side. Like I would maybe sort of agree that yeah, it's easier to quote unquote reach your full potential maybe, or to get to level 100 maybe faster than you could as a Jedi, but it's not easy. So the dark side's painful, brother. Like,
but he wrote that. Is the dark side more powerful? No. Easy is the path to the dark side. Like it. Yeah. So I get that part. What I don't get, and I guess Zane will tell us here in a minute, is that the light side is the balanced. Because then what the hell have we been talking about with the whole Mortis thing? Like what with that I thought that was Force being balanced with the Father. But yeah, we've got about half of this clip left. Do you have anything to say? I don't want you to go crazy yet, Zane, because I think you have a lot to say, and I want to get through the clip. Okay, you'll wait. All right. We got like a minute left here.
You talk about the Jedis, like everybody's like, why don't the Jedis use Sith fire? They choose not to because it's too easy.
So
when we think about this, George's last thing that he said, he was like, what I want everybody to know is when you're talking about the Force, you're talking about these unseen feeling, this unseen thing that ties us all together, which is love. And his whole thing was like, he wants everybody to know that God is love. and it doesn't need a name, right? That's why he called it a force, right? And that was probably the best thing that I got from him after all these 25 years. And then I told him, I said to him,
Just stop. I can't. Look, I
You ain't got no patience tonight, man.
I don't. I'll stop it there because I want Zane to jump in. And when you had posted that earlier today, I had seen this clip yesterday and thought, holy shit, we got to talk about it. But I was waiting for you, dragging my feet in the show so you'd show up.
Kid eat tacos, man.
I'm not. How were the tacos?
They were really good.
Yeah, good for you. What were they? What were they?
Hard or soft tacos?
Great hard tacos.
Yeah.
You made them yourself?
Yeah.
You don't ever cook when you come over here.
That's what he's got you for, dog. He ain't coming home just to come home. We need some free meals, brother.
Okay, so my understanding is what Clone Wars is and was, and the way they describe the Force, and what I believe my best is trying to say is yes, but it's a little different maybe than what you think you're seeing. I just confused now. I like what is real, what is not, and no wonder the fandom's in an uproar because there's so many bits that are so confusing right now. Go.
Well, okay, so this is George Lucas saying it, and as much as we love George Lucas, he doesn't own Star Wars. He doesn't. We also know that.
Hold on a second. Hold on. Because
let them cook.
We all just were very quiet. Like, are you effing kidding me? He just said that on air. Hold on. Because why? Because he sold it, so it's no longer his to control, creatively.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, along with that, we also know that throughout the making of the prequels, a lot of people didn't agree with him. Throughout the original trilogy, a lot of people didn't agree with him. There are still things that Lucas added to, I don't know, Jabba's palace when he added that song that no one wanted to hear.
No one asked for that.
But, I mean, that was Lucas. Lucas put that in there.
Yeah.
But you see what you just said about it.
No one asked for that.
Mm-hmm. Now, my sole belief is Clone Wars definitely talks about it being more of a balance than a one's corrupted, one's not. It is. It's stated on Mortis, and that video I did send talks about what George Lucas said about it.
Did you send it again? Or did you pull it back up to the top?
It's in the messenger.
Okay.
Just gotta scroll a little. But that was for the Clone Wars. That was discussed in 2010. But at the end of the day, George Lucas doesn't own it, so your own headcanon is as correct as George Lucas.
So here's
hard to argue with the lore master there, man. Let me tell you, he's the one that keeps us in check.
I mean, I can't be angry with what you said. I'm angry with what you said, but I can't be angry with what you said because it's, damn it, it's not how I want it though.
There it is. It's all bring Lucas back until you don't want what he wants.
So is this where we start to see, like, okay, we're gonna bring religion into the show, just as an example here, right? So we have the Force, and we had for a long while, this is what everyone kind of thought Force was, believed what the Force was for like 20, 30 years. And then there's this kind of bigger picture of the Force that we get in the prequels. And then we get an not entirely different view of the Force, but I mean, the sacred Jedi texts, that whole conversation was awkward to me. And to your point, that's canon. Regardless of how you feel about it, that's true. That's what happened, and that's what it is. Unless otherwise stated in retcon. But right now, that's how it is. I get that. That doesn't mean I gotta like it, and doesn't mean I gotta support it, and doesn't mean I can't have an opinion. I think you're exactly right. Now I feel like a total horse's ass because I never thought of it from the aspect of, hey, great, Lucas did his thing. We're gonna do our thing with what he has, whether we like it or not. It's really not. It's our pocketbooks to decide, as Cam has put many ways, many times.
And they're doing a terrible job at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so the whole premise of this show being the Sith Dominion has always been we look at things from a Sith perspective. We look at things from a dark side perspective. And we've never said that the dark side is a good, as isn't perceived good and all these things, right? It's a part of us that we live with. And this is why, and we're going to take a little sidebar here. This is why I posted Obi-Wan to me is probably the greatest Jedi we've ever known in the entirety of canon and in the entirety of Legends. And I just recently have come to that. Luke has always been my guy when it comes to the Jedi. But I think Kenobi, knowing what he had to live with, knowing the compassion in his heart was so great for one that he had to live with the death of millions. How do you do that? So when I say the greatest Jedi, I mean, had it not been him living through that, none of the stuff would have ever happened in the way it needed to happen, in the way we perceived back then that the Force would then come to balance. All that to come to this, right? So that's where my soul is with the Force. Now we have these other little bits of other descriptions. That's the religion part, right? Like over thousands of years, little sects, little things, denominations, things change. Basic, mostly the same, but differences all the way around. But we don't own, if I'm Lutheran, I don't own Methodist, doctrine. That's the Methodist doctrine. So I never looked at it, and that was a little long-winded, and I apologize, but I think you brought some truth to fall out my mouth just now that I had not considered, and I feel like a horse's ass.
Like
I know Cam's gonna be like, I don't care.
Like taking a scoop of broccoli.
Waiting, Cameron. Do it.
I mean, it's a fair point, but I mean, the 6 movies are still canon. There's nothing they can change from those.
True.
In terms of the movies themselves, but they're retroactively changing, sort of established how we understand things, and that's the problem that I have. I don't want George back, and I was kind of a Filoni guy, but I mean, Mando season 3 and Ahsoka and Boba Fett are some of his projects as well. But I mean, you're not wrong, but I don't like how the stuff that we're getting now and what we already know doesn't feel like anything that it just doesn't feel like Star Wars to me with some of the stuff that they do and some of the directions that they're taking things. And somebody who's experiencing a lot of post-Jedi Legends and pre-Phantom Menace Legends, I'm like, could they have the source material and they have stuff. It's kind of like in that picture I sent in the group chat, like they're able to pay respect to what comes before, but don't like retroactively change the core stuff, But I mean, I think Ahmad just got to the point where he was yapping in his clip. Like he'd just say stuff and then like, you had me for a minute there, but it's like I thought the beauty of Luke in in his Jedi Academy was that he encouraged in the Legends Jedi Academy that he built. He encouraged his students to tap into the dark, to use a little bit of the dark side, maybe not to the extent of what we think doing that might be now, but like I feel like you're able to find true balance in both, not in a gray Jedi perspective, but you're able to find the balance that works best for you. Now, what is that balance in terms of what the Force thinks is balance? Well, we thought it was Anakin, but clearly that's not the case anymore. With Rey and now the twins and those type of things, but it's just, I don't know. People sometimes don't get when I tell them I don't like a lot of the new stuff because it doesn't feel like Star Wars to me.
Mm-hmm.
And if I have to explain that, then I don't, and you don't get that, then I don't think that we're probably going to see eye to eye on a lot of stuff.
The opening scene of at the time that I knew it, Star Wars. The screen, you get this fanfare, you know, of 20th Century Fox or 20th Century, and then you get this amazing soundtrack starting, and this scroll that you've never seen. Like everything was fresh, everything was new. Fast forward 40 years, yeah, it's not going to be fresh and new, but there's a feeling that you get in that opening scene every time you watch it, every time you see Vader come through that, just in the shooting and then Vader just steps through the hallway to be like, what's going on? Is everybody dead? I mean, I was petrified, and even today I find myself holding my breath in that scene. Great writing, great directing, great acting, great cinematography, the list goes on. That feels Star Wars. You felt without any dialogue, none. You felt it. You felt the quote-unquote evil. You felt the good without knowing anything. You knew in 2 minutes what was happening. A whole lot of mystery surrounding all of this, but we knew, oh, these are the bad guys, these are the good guys. This is something that, and so when I think Star Wars and I hear you make that statement, that's what I want to feel. And I do feel that with the Razor Crest, the beat up piece of garbage, you know, that Mando's still flying, just like the Falcon, but it's a completely different vehicle, but same premise. It's fun, right? I dig that because he's just a bounty hunter dude. But then Rey gets the Falcon. Huh? Like, that's not cool. Whatever. Anyways, so my point is they're messing with those things that aren't Star Wars, or that make it feel like it's modernized and accessible as opposed to being within a universe that's separate from where we are. There you go. And it's no longer in a universe separate from where we are. And you said gray Jedi. Why are we still keep talking about this? Why are they still making this grayish person when it's been established there are no gray Jedi?
No,
Wait.
and if anybody in chat thinks gray Jedi is a thing, just go ahead and leave, brother. I don't want to kick a viewer out, but just go ahead. It's not a thing. Sorry. Sorry for your Instagram, Star Wars Instagram little 3-part page of the light, gray, and whatever. Gray Jedi is not a thing. Qui-Gon Jinn is not a gray Jedi. Qui-Gon Jinn is a Jedi.
Qui-Gon Jinn said, "I turn to the light because it's there." I quote from Freddie Prinze Jr. I turn to the light because it's there. Not because like I'm just gonna walk this line. No, there is the light. I'm on the light. It's there. I'm with the light. That's Qui-Gon Jinn. I agree. Do you disagree with that? I'm not. I'm just asking.
No, I don't disagree.
I thought you were about to say something.
No, I agree. I want them to take what we got in Tales of the Jedi and implement it into live action.
Yeah.
And Andor. Because there's good. I mean, Andor in terms of the writing, in terms of feeling stakes, in terms of feeling like tension, and kind of like what I was talking about earlier. Like I don't feel any tension in the Acolyte. Like, dude, we've got 2 episodes left, and I'm like,
How are you gonna do that?
yeah. How are we going to close any of these storylines? How are we going to do anything? But
You're
not allowed to. You're not allowed to ask those questions, or else Rotten Tomatoes censors your review.
Can we believe this has happened? I cannot believe this has happened.
Well, they did it with like Rings of Power and stuff too back when it first came out. I know, but Rings of Power wasn't as boring as this show is to me. And I'm not super I'm not as invested in like Middle Earth and all that, but I thoroughly enjoy it. And now that I've kind of sidebarring with that too, but
That is
Janae.
true. That is true.
Janae.
It's like Ben Solo on crack.
See, Janae, I told Dana this in the pre-show. I'm not mad at it. If something would have came up about them showing the scar, because I'm hoping to believe that that's maybe half of the reason they show that. But it's not, because they show it again in their little cave that they're in, and then Osha asks him about it. So it's like, I feel like you could have had that scene. I'm not mad at it, but it's. Did you just clip me, bro?
No, don't worry about it.
Man, I'm like, who's making the soundboard over there?
But like, it's just we just spent 5-6 minutes watching this dude swim, and the awkward Raylo tension that they're shoving down our throats, which didn't work the first time. Don't let the Twitter people fool you. But like, you could have had that, and it could have added some sort of progression and value to the story, but it doesn't.
I was very uncomfortable. You said earlier the whole doesn't feel like Star Wars. It did not feel like Star Wars when he said, if you're not going to join me, then can I have my clothes? Now, was it he was saying, if you're not going to join me, as in my pupil, can I have my clothes? Or was it, if you're not going to join me naked in the freaking water, then give me my clothes? Which is it? Because when I heard him say that, I was like, are you kidding? Did he just say that? Like, if you're not going to come in and skinny dip with me, give me my clothes. Could not. Am I wrong? Did you guys hear that? Said that?
Yeah, I mean, he was probably talking about her hopping in. I'm not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. Little joker,
okay, is that Star Wars? That sort of overt? No.
I mean, Princess Leia was basically naked, strapped to a chain.
She was a slave.
A giant slave.
That's different. That's different. I don't know. It just felt creepy and gross to me. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Jabba felt creepy and gross to me too. Don't
exactly.
get. I'm not saying it didn't.
It is.
Okay.
It is
fair.
Like they're doing the force. They're trying to appease the, what are they called? Shippers or whatever they call.
Oh, yeah.
But like, they're trying to force that down our throats to make us feel like there's some love interest here. But like 5 minutes ago, he snapped a friend of hers neck.
Yeah.
Then he killed another person that they were insinuating that she might like. And he killed a lot of other people. But
he's not.
I mean, nah, Kamir's good looking for a dude. I mean, I'm not into that, but
he's definitely built.
Yeah,
100%.
But like,
Like I'm switching from Fall Guy to come here. Dude, that Ryan Gosling, man. Damn.
He was good as Ken.
I did this for like a month. No, I'm just kidding. I did watch that in the theater. Sorry. No, you're right, man. Is there a need? No. Is it a part of what we're doing currently within the media sphere? It is what it is currently, right? So it is a reflection, I think, of what television is right now. It just doesn't fit what we want. Here we are again, what we want as the Star Wars narrative.
See, but there's a place for that in media. I mean, even if Star Wars doesn't have any previous sort of place for that in past projects, like there is a place for it. There is a place for more adult projects, and there is, because, I mean, for better or worse in terms of the scenes, like there are a lot of, like, bring up Game of Thrones a lot, but like there are, in terms of
There's so many scenes.
where sexual scenes like can move the story along or add value to the story, but
yeah,
they tried to do that and they just didn't hit.
I didn't
That's
even
a
think of
quick
that with
episode.
Game of Thrones. Oh wait, this is wrong. What is
Game
it?
of Thrones.
There. Wait, is this right?
No.
Oh.
There we go.
There
Oh.
we go.
Hey,
Yes,
we got
sir.
the whole crew on tonight, y'all. What's that?
Debbie, did you watch the show?
Yes, I did.
All right, post intro and pre credits. How long is it?
44 minutes.
Ooh.
Really? Not including credits and
Oh,
intro?
that's probably including credits, but
it's probably like what, 39 minutes, probably somewhere around there, 40.
something like that.
How
Probably.
you feeling, Debbie? How you feeling on it? We good? Are we gonna get some closure here in the next?
It was the flashback as to what happened on Burn-Dock.
Okay.
Mm.
And you
Yes.
wanted a fighting Wookiee. You're gonna see a fighting Wookiee.
Hell yeah.
Hey,
Finally,
they have the budget now. Let's go. Yo, if you factor in the math, it's about $1 million a minute for this show. Somewhere like that.
Dang, I didn't think of that.
It don't feel like it. That's all I'm gonna say.
No. You had Temple Run or Nickelodeon's whatever for the set piece. It's I'm worried that we're not gonna get that, but I'm glad to hear, Debbie. Thank you for letting us know that.
Look, guys, let's not get it twisted, man. Boba Fett is still infinitely worse in this show.
Yes, I will say yes.
Mandalorian
Season 3 Mandalorian.
was pretty good.
All right.
And they
the
got
next
Luke Skywalker, right? That was what I was happy about.
the next bit we want to look at, and just to catch you up, we spent a whole lot of time. I don't know if you were listening on the side, Debbie, but we spent all of our time talking about the Force.
No.
And
No, I was not listening.
and why we don't own, or Lucas doesn't own the Force anymore. He doesn't. So we can't. We can get upset if we want, but it's ridiculous. There's nothing we can do about it. So, like, I had this epiphany earlier in the show where I'm like, oh, you know,
I mean, if you're getting granular, dude, he is the largest shareholder, or at least one of the largest shareholders. So
Yeah.
he has some stake.
yeah. He
Well,
doesn't
and he
care.
does consult on a lot of the shows. They'll bring him in, and he did it on Solo. He was on
Yeah.
set. So
Well, and yeah,
it's not like he's completely out of it.
Elliot said he sat in those reading rooms where George was even there. Filoni's talked about having George in the readings. So yeah. And then you get, yeah, because you're right. He does still consult.
Mhm.
But I don't think he has say, right? I mean,
I ain't listening to that, man.
He only
I ain't
has as much
listening to
weight
him.
as you want him to.
I could do. Come on, Andrew. Does your mom know you up this late? Come on.
Dang, brother.
I'm posting that one. I'm not saying it, but I'll post it. Killing me. That's what, of course, that's what she said. All right. Yeah, now you're in trouble. Pull that DM out. Where were we? Oh yeah, what was the next piece of that? We were going into. I was segueing into something. Okay, so the tension between Soul and May, it was very clear to me. He's like asking her these questions to trap her because he knew it wasn't her. We had said in episode 5, like, how did he not feel that it wasn't her? And then of course he felt it wasn't her, and then questioned her to be sure, and then stunned her. Okay, and then let me tell you what happened, and then we are over. Now we got to wait a
Basil
week.
told him.
Basil told him?
I thought Basil basiled.
What? What I miss?
But that wasn't after he stuns her and Basil like in the shot, bottom of the screen.
He is, but you could
he can't
tell
speak
just by
English.
what he was saying and questioning. He knew he was just trying to trip her up or trying to get her to admit that she wasn't Osha.
And got it with that last on this planet or whatever that was. Again, I almost fell asleep watching it the second time.
Why didn't she kill him, man? She had like 5 chances. Why didn't she kill him?
Curiosity.
Why does she want to kill him?
She wanted to know what really happened on Burn Dock.
That's my thought. Curiosity. We get to find out? We get to find out why, like, there's like just a ton of people dead for no reason, right?
Yeah, and it's probably going to be the Jedi's fault because the Jedi are terrible.
That's right.
Piss me off.
From my point of view, the Jedi are evil.
No,
he was wrong.
That's not how I viewed it.
No.
I mean, it and I don't want to say too much, but Andrew, shut up.
Right.
Bro, Andrew's on fire.
He is.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much, but we see what happens. And I don't think it's the way everybody think it is.
Good. I hope not. I mean, you've seen it. You're saying it. We trust you.
Stop bastardizing the Jedi, Disney.
Scared. Why is that? Why is there this? This is what hurt me the most. That there, yes, it's a Sithy show, dark side, blah blah. But come on, folks, I grew up loving the Jedi and Luke Skywalker and all the shit. And so it wasn't until much later in life that I realized, like, yeah, that I understand Palpatine and his, talking about the dogmatic view of the light side. It is hampering and hindering to your growth and your being awesome and amazing, because you can't use all of you. You have to corner off pieces of you that you're not allowed to use. It's not about a matter of whether they can or cannot use, as Ahmad Best was saying earlier in our show. We did not have him as a guest, Debbie. I would have made sure you knew that. We did play a clip of him talking about George Lucas, though, in a conversation.
Yeah, I seen that clip on YouTube the other day.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I worry a little bit about how it goes, but in the end, it doesn't matter. Like, it's going to be what it's going to be, and in my reaction, I'm either going to enjoy it or not. Zane made me say it earlier in the show, and it was, but it's not what I want to see. And maybe that's my biggest problem. It's not what I want to see.
Debbie.
Yes.
Does the second Sith show up? I'm gonna tell y'all. Leslie Headland, her words, not mine, said there's 2 Sith in this show. 2.
No, this was all flashback to Burn Dock.
All right, well, we got one more Sith to show. So it's like episode 2 again?
It'll probably be at the very end.
Oh, a good cliffhanger for a potential season 2.
And if not, then we'll be left to wonder.
If not, it's probably going to be in a book or something.
Oh, it'll be in a book.
Oh, I can't wait for the book. The book's are really good.
Yeah. So, that's what I was saying. It got me pissed off whenever he said, they control. Actually, the witches say it, and Kamir says it, that the Jedi can essentially control who uses the Force. They do not control who uses the Force. They're saying that they control, and this is what's kind of upsetting, is where in any piece of lore is it that if you use the Force outside of being a Jedi, they're going to hunt you down and kill you? Where's that written? Where's that happened? That they just purge people who use the Force that are not Jedi? Your silence says everything. So why would they say that in this show? That they control who gets to use it and who.
It's just more of a problem with Hollywood in general. There's really no heroes anymore. Everyone's probably right in terms of their term, depending upon whose point of view you're looking at it from. And
Well, I know in the a couple of the High Republic, well, several of the High Republic books, there's a group, cult, whatever you want to call them, called the Path of the Hand, and
Yes.
they have decided that nobody should be using the Force, especially the Jedi, and they go out of their way to attack the Jedi for using the Force. And of course that leads into, well, at least the books that I have just read, to the Nile. I'm not sure if that's how that's said. That group, Path of the Hand, turned into the Nile, and then there's big issues that happen with that. But
some of that story is
and then
sweater stuff, right?
what do they do with they don't kill the kids that, if they're too old and they can't bring them into the temple, they don't kill them, but it's just like, well, aren't you being a little irresponsible if you're just going to let them do whatever they want with the Force?
I mean, if they make a decision to kill people and disrupt the peace, then the peacekeepers have to step in. So I guess from that perspective, they do attack those who are Force wielders that don't. But I just can't imagine that they're just going through whacking people's heads off. Like, it seemed that that's how they were putting that out to us, in two different situations, and never in anything I'd ever read was that the case. So I guess that was really frustrating for me. It left a bad taste in my mouth, I guess.
I mean, I think if they run into a dark side Force user, maybe I don't think they would do it if they were unprovoked.
Asajj Ventress, once dark side wielder, actually never stopped wielding the dark side. Once Jedi. Did the Jedi kill her? No, they tried to a couple times. Anakin tried to a couple times. Ahsoka tried to as well, didn't she? So yeah,
well, they worked together a couple times too.
But then they ended up working together, right? So here, when they were working together, she was a bounty hunter, or later became a bounty hunter, worked with them, whatever. And the point is, like, she was a Force wielder that had no affiliation, previous Sith, and they didn't seek her out to kill her because she's a Force wielder that's not a Jedi.
She was never a Sith.
She was never a Sith.
Never a Sith. Because she even once called herself a Sith, and Dooku laughed in her face.
You could say
she was never a Sith. She was just a tool for Dooku.
An ends to a means to an end. So Force wielder, using it how she wants, and the Jedi don't seek her out to stop her. So I think if that motivation is in his case, maybe his motivation is to hurt or harm, well, then certainly the Jedi, as the peace protectors, would want to step in and prevent further harm. But I don't like the way it's being portrayed. And I don't know, Cam. I mean, do you think that's the narrative that's being spun? Do you see that in the other, like the sequels? Do you feel that happened in the sequels too? Or do you feel that happened in Mando?
I mean, they absolutely spat on my hero and the hero of the original story, or one of the heroes. So, I mean, the sequels, I mean, I guess they did it more to prop up new heroes. So you were still able to have some good people, but I think in this one they're painting people that in terms of how I view it, the people that are supposed to be the good guys and who, in my experience watching Star Wars, are the good guys. They're turning them into these weird Jedi. Why are they doing what they're doing? What's so special about? Why are they trying to do what they're going to do? Which maybe we'll get some answers in this next episode, but I think it's more of a more recent thing in Hollywood movies, whereas there's really no heroes and villains. Everyone's just in this gray area.
Zane, the sequels. You have Cantobite. What was? Yeah. Okay. And everyone's like, why did we even have this? All it did was kind of like point out war, and there's really no good or bad side because both sides are being played. So when we're talking about early in the show, Cameron saying some of this shit just doesn't feel like Star Wars, I think maybe that even is what you're talking about, because we had in Legends the corporations that did provide X-Wings, that did provide twin ion engine fighters for the Empire. Like, there was a lot of politics involved. There was a lot of I'm not going to I'm being forced to supply X-Wing. At one point it was canon that the X-Wings were actually a part of new technology for the Empire that were stolen from the Empire by rebels. And then they, working with, I think it was Sinar, I don't remember who made the X-Wing, and I'm a total terrible person. One of those create, and then you had the shipyards at Mon Calamari shipyards. All of these things were integral. Why was Admiral Akbar in that ship, Home One, and why did it look that way? And why was he Admiral Akbar? That's important, like, stuff to the story. And so when you say, no, all the war, it's just to feed the war machine and make money, I can't agree with it. I can't say I don't agree with it in real life. I can't agree with it because of the way that we were raised on watching this show that showed there were organizations that were working with the rebels, that were working with the Empire for a specific purpose and intent. That's Star Wars. It's not Star Wars where everybody just gets paid. That's not Star Wars. Not to me, Cameron, clearly not to you. And there goes my light. It got just getting all pissed off tonight. I don't want to be angry.
No need to be mad, brother.
It is what it is.
Is it?
Hey, man, you got all this other content, may or may not be canon or whatever, but there's still stuff out there to enjoy.
That's good stuff, man.
All I was saying at the beginning of the show, when I came on, at least, was that we can't take what Lucas said for fact. It is as canon as what we think is canon. You know.
Can
So
we take
even
stuff from
today-
the movies as fact?
Well, I mean,
From
at the end of
already
the day,
established movies?
who's consuming it? You are. If you really don't like it, then just say it isn't in your mind. Everything is a story that you make.
So we
That's
get
my
to write
lore
our own
master.
narrative? What was that, Cam?
I said, that's my lore master.
I don't know if I agree with that lore master. We get a new lore master.
Absolutely not. He's the best
No.
one we got. Did you not hear him? When we needed something, bro was typing up immediately.
I
Didn't even
heard
have to
that.
ask.
Yeah, I already
With that
found the X-Wing corporation.
Mechanical gaming keyboard.
By the way, the people who made the X-Wings were the Incom Corporation.
Incom, not Sinar. Sinar was the ties and all of that. Yeah. Dang it. Good job. Way to clickety clack.
Yeah.
So, what do you, Debbie, anticipate for? We got one more show. We'll watch this episode, but as this show comes to a close, are you anticipating that it will be done? And are you wanting it to be done, or are you wanting more of this story?
It really depends on how they end next week and who pops up as if there is a second Sith Lord. Because if it's who everybody is speculating it to be, I would think, well, some people would like to see that story played out because it would lead, directly into the prequels. But yeah, I the show's okay. I enjoy bits and pieces of it. Is it my favorite thing so far? Probably not. But saving final judgment to the last episode to see what they do.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm of the mind of enjoy what you enjoy. If you don't like the Disney stuff, don't watch it. There's stuff that Lucas has done and at least one show that Disney has done that I don't like, and I watched it once just to say I've seen it. I didn't like it. I have not watched him again.
Poor Star Wars Resistance, man.
That's
That
right.
was terrible. God, that was terrible. And I was like, cool, we're gonna get some like Poe story or something.
No.
So,
No. So if it's something
Runner-up
I don't like, I will not waste my time with it. I never watched him again. I love Legends, whether or not they're canon or not. I sent that little doodaddly thing earlier this evening because Lucas was like, I don't know, I never read the books.
yeah.
He goes, that's another it's like a multiverse. It's a different universe from my universe. So, but I do love that they try to bring things from Legends and people still bitch about it. So
You mean
it's
like zombie stormtroopers?
That was a good book.
man, if we could get a Death Trooper, that would be cool.
That was a great book.
Today, I don't know if Andrew sent it to you guys or not, but they're looking for a production. Oh, hold on. Let me look for it. I gotta find it.
Oh, production manager for an animated show.
Animated show? What?
Man, it better be Ventress.
Oh.
That's my hope. Because why? Why would you bring her into the Bad Batch for one episode?
Think so, yeah.
And then not do something with that. So I'm hoping it's Ventress. I could be wrong. I've been wrong so many times.
Over? Like, did I already see the last episode where they're just sitting around at the end of the show chilling? Was that?
Yeah.
That was the end of the show?
And
Hey, man.
Omega went to go fight with the rebellion.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
We're done. No more.
We're done.
That's the best content we've gotten in a long time, Dana. You gotta tap in, man.
I have. I watched it all. It
I
was
haven't.
all
You're
right.
not vibing with it.
I actually had joined a Cantina Happy Hour after watching an episode that right before, because that's what the topic was. Even though that was from the previous season. It was like 6 months later when you guys were going back through it, and I still hadn't seen it. But anyways, I mean it was okay. For animated though, with the bar set for Rebels and freaking Clone Wars, it wasn't Rebels or Clone Wars. I don't know. Maybe I'm just in a bad mood today, man. I'm sorry.
You're being a little bitch.
I have been a little bit of a bitch.
That's
tonight.
my job, damn
And
it.
I'm glad nobody's watching right now live, because I have a feeling some of those people like Andrew or Janae might agree. Okay. You are
Josiah
being a
lost
little
power, so
bitch. Josiah lost power?
yeah.
Oh, that sucks, dude. Josiah, get back on. Cool. We got one more little bit. I want to talk about what's her name, Vernestra or whatever her name is.
Vernestra Rowe.
What is her freaking angle? Okay, first of all, real quick, the light whip. We gotta talk about it. I've seen that in Legends, so I was not I was fine with it, and it was actually a pretty cool way. If you paid attention, it went poot to a lightsaber and then another mode where it whipped and then came back into lightsaber and then drew in. It was actually pretty
She
good
has a little
animation.
switch. She can switch back and forth.
There you go. That's cool, man. Light whip. Did you guys see it in Legends yourselves, or what did you feel about the light whip as a new weapon? A canon weapon again.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
camera time.
nothing new.
It isn't.
I mean,
Happy
but
it's.
then
Yeah.
and here we are again. You bring something from Legends, and then I've seen people online, bitching about it, and it's like, and these are the same people that want a Knights of the Old Republic series. No, because you would just sit there and bitch about it. So no.
I love this Debbie. She is hot right now. She is mad. You people, what's wrong with you? Stop your complaining. And I know you come into the show late just to join, and Dana's just bitching the whole show. I'm sorry. I need to.
Well, I'm taking over. It's my turn to
Yeah,
bitch.
no, it's my turn. Damn it! Now, to all you little bitches, Dana. Stop. Oh my goodness. No. I just wait. I thought you were going to bed.
He did. He said that a while back.
He said, "Oh, it's summer. I've got no bedtime." That's what Andrew said. And then be sure to say.
Also, that
I
was
waited.
like 20 minutes.
But his
ago.
mom probably wants to play Fortnite. So
There you go. I'm just worried about the way that they're portraying her as this kind of cover-up artist. I just in the real world, does shit like this happen? Yeah, does.
and I watched Revenge of the Sith this weekend, and there's a cover up there that the Jedi do. Obi-Wan, they're wanting Anakin to spy on Palpy.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan says this is off the books.
Yep.
The Senate does not know about it. This is off the books. Hello, cover up. So it's nothing new.
He kind of does the same thing in Clone Wars when he talks to Ahsoka on the holocom, asking Rex and them to step away, and he kind of says like the council tells Ahsoka like the council isn't always right, and those type of things. But I think it's more of the fact that we have a line in terms of where I have a problem with what they're doing is we have a line in the movie. The Sith have not been seen for millennia. And all Soul has to do, and just conveniently, the comms go down and whatever, but all he has to do is, and they see, like, multiple Jedi see people dead with lightsaber wounds. Like, what
But
is...
he said, was it Saul? And then she says, well, that's a serious accusation.
But why would it be Soul? I mean, we know it's not Soul, but why would they think it'd be Soul?
It could be just
Because they know nothing of the dark force user.
Well, and how much does he know, though, of the
he's
mission?
Just a Padawan. He doesn't know dick.
And because she sent, all he knows is she sent them there. And that's all he knows.
I think she knows something.
I think Darth Teeth is her former Padawan.
Ooh, nice twist.
That's what the scar is the whip.
That's either what the scar is, or it's from his Sith master.
Sith master torture.
The electric.
Yes. Do it.
Do it.
The other Sith has to be Tenebrous, right? Like,
they can do what they want. Is that canon?
What?
I mean, Plagueis is supposedly canon. That was who his master was, at least in Legends. But
I don't think.
And you know what? I don't know that it ever says in the movies. Plagueis was my master, or I don't think that ever was said. Was it? No, you're looking it up. I think it was only, did you know about the tragedy of Darth Plagueis or why? Like, it never
I don't think he mentioned Tenebrous. And plus, we don't know how old the stranger is. Really?
Come here.
Yeah, because he says, he was a Jedi a long time ago, and then he said a very long time ago.
What if he is some imbued spirit? Yes, saying like some spirit in the Cortosis mask, or what have you.
Or he's just wearing a force mask like Palpy did.
Or if he's just a guy taking over bodies. You have an apprentice doesn't work out, take over their body, keep going.
Yeah. And that's happened in the video games. That's happened in the comics. That's happened in movies. Well, not movies, but...
By the way, Plagueis was never vocally confirmed to be Sidious's master, but a link to the official encyclopedia on StarWars.com did refer to Sidious having been trained by Darth Plagueis.
Oh, trained by, not necessarily master of.
If they retcon that shit, that's got pissed me off. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna be apologetic about it. That's such a good book.
I think they know that. I think they know that.
They don't give a bleep, but that would piss me off so much, dude. That's such a good
none of
story.
This has already pissed you off. I mean,
I mean, like the Kiadi-Mundi stuff, throwing him in there, they knew the reaction that was going to get. It wasn't as bad as just the absolute, like, spitting in my face, like watching The Last Jedi is. But I feel like the Darth Plagueis novel adds such depth to Palpatine's character alone, and really puts his actions in the prequels and the sequels and prequels, original trilogy. I don't care about the sequels. I don't know if that's really him, but it adds so much depth, and it'd be a shame for them to, because I know that they want to do part of that novel in some form, but I don't.
You don't trust them?
I don't trust them to do it. I'd like to see it. At least, even if they don't even go in depth, at least just confirm.
I have a question for you, Debbie. We talked pre-show, you and I, before Cam jumped on, a little bit about some things, and one of the things that you brought up was Star Trek and some fandom, and we had a conversation. But what I want to ask you about is, you are a fan of Star Trek as well, as avid, if I mean, I would assume from what you've said. So let's ask this question: when Counselor Troy crashed the Enterprise, I'm just kidding. It wasn't because it was a woman driver, but that it is the only woman ever driven the Enterprise. Let's be real. I mean, honestly, like, do we get this sort of backlash when a movie or a new like Discovery, comes out and they're doing this whole weird warp and it goes away? Like, do you get that same sort of backlash, or is it mostly just Star Wars fans?
No, there's backlash in Star Trek. There's people who absolutely love Discovery. Was it my favorite thing? No. Last season wasn't the final season wasn't too bad.
I haven't finished it. No spoilers.
I could tolerate it. But when Next Generation first came out, oh my God, the first couple seasons, people hated it. People absolutely hated it. And then, it went on for 10 years, but there's, there's people who say, we don't like the new Trek, there's staunch Star Trek people out there who do not like. Discovery was okay. The first 2 seasons of Picard I did not like. Third season was perfection.
Yeah,
I like Strange New Worlds. I enjoy that one, and then I like all the other ones. The animated ones.
Lower Decks.
I don't know. I have a hard time getting into, so I haven't. I think I watched 1 season of Lower Decks, and I have not watched Prodigy.
Yeah, I haven't even.
So maybe if I'm completely bored one day, I might watch them. But yeah, I mean, and it's the same thing in Marvel.
How do they get the first 2 seasons right of a show, and then, because I've heard that from a lot of people, how do they get the first 2 seasons right of Picard? Or
no,
don't do
first
it well.
2 seasons sucked.
Yeah, but how do they get season 3 right? Like, what different showrunner, different director, clearly different writing but like, what is the main switch?
It was a TNG reunion.
Oh, nostalgia. Yeah. But was it pointless, or did it have did it make sense that they were there?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we've seen some of the different characters from TNG in season 1 and 2. Right. I just didn't like season 1 and 2, but then they all come together in season 3, and like I said,
hold on, were they on screen together?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. We couldn't even get our heroes on screen together.
Because they hate each other, Dana.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Picard.
They all cried whenever she died. No.
Deanna Troi, Worf, Data,
Marina Sirtis,
and Geordi.
Sure.
So yeah, it was a very good season. I need to go back and watch that one.
Question, not because we're a Star Wars show, not a Star Trek show, but just trying to understand fandoms, right? And I get that, each fandom's going to have its rabid extremism. And maybe it's just because I'm embedded with Star Wars, but it just feels like, God, they're just mean sometimes. We can not like something and we can talk about it on the show and everyone be friends afterwards. It just seems, God, they had to shut down the score because it was just getting out of hand. People like being mean, I guess.
Well, yeah, and I feel the same way about Star Trek. Will I ever go back and watch Discovery again? No,
Probably not.
no.
Cam, did you watch any? Do you have any other fandoms that you enjoy that you are as passionate about?
Dragon Ball Z probably would be
Really?
one.
Good
Yeah.
show. Good show.
I mean, maybe Spider-Man to a certain extent. It's not like that's part of a greater arcing story, but I mean, Dragon Ball Z and Naruto probably are. I was really late to the party on Naruto, but I would say I thoroughly enjoy that fandom and like some of the stuff in Boruto. Not a lot of people like the stuff in Boruto. I have my gripes with that, but probably Dragon Ball Z would probably be the close second for me in terms of where I'm at with Star Wars.
Zane, how about you?
I'm into Overwatch and Destiny, and both seem to have some pretty toxic fan bases right now. Mostly because they're long-running projects that have had the good years, and they're coming off of that high. But I don't know. Like, I like Naruto. I'm not a huge Naruto fan. I want to get into Boruto, but I don't know. It seems like a lot of people hate a lot more these days. I don't know.
Yeah. Social media, I feel like, amplifies the voices a lot more, and you're able to hear a lot more of the more bad voices because they are, unfortunately, the people that have what it seems like the most amount of time to be on something like that. But I don't think. I think, like we said earlier, Dana, like the Sonic movie, like that was probably one of the things that where listening to your fan base saved your potential movie franchise, you know? And of course,
Yeah.
It wasn't to the extreme. It was like, God, this character design is awful. What are y'all doing? You know? Because I mean, the story I think was probably relatively the same, but you know, there's sometimes where fan feedback can be pretty good, but it's difficult to tell with how toxic everything is. Is the Acolyte a 14% like it was originally on Rotten Tomatoes? I don't know. 25-30% seems more applicable to me. But
45.
you know, I mean, it is what it is.
Well, tonight's episode, 5 minutes into the show, and everybody was, I don't know how it works, voting it down or whatever.
No. Oh, sorry.
They probably hadn't even gotten
You know.
the intro by that point.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you know, I don't know, it pisses me off to no end, but you're not going to stop it. They're going to, you know, the trolls are going to be trolls. They're going to do what they want. You know what? Disney don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. They're going to do what they're going to do. You know, you sit there and you have people on TikTok and on YouTube who sit there and watch it, and then they sit there and bitch the whole time about it. Disney doesn't care. You're still watching. You're still giving the numbers. If you don't like it,
them their your monthly subscription fee. They don't
yeah.
give a crap.
So what's the point? You know, it's just a bunch of rage bait, is what it is. They're feeding into the boys who live in the basement, and never come out, and just feeding into that. That's what they're doing.
And I'll have you know, Debbie, ain't one of us in a basement right now.
I
But
don't think
we-
I am. Feels like it. Sometimes.
Well, I wasn't talking about you guys. I'm just
So are you saying oh sorry, let me rephrase that. I feel like you might be saying we're already getting your money. We're gonna do what we do, and you're either gonna like it or not, but we still have your subscription, and whether you watch it once or 3 times, you're still paying your 1 month subscription, and we don't care.
and we're getting the numbers. So
Will you, Cameron, because of this series not pay for Disney Plus?
No, I'll still watch it because I mean I like having access to the old stuff, and because I know it's not gonna go anywhere. I mean,
Marvel.
and I mean it. I don't really consume the Marvel TV shows. Those are absolute freaking snooze fest.
Some of them were okay.
I don't know. Loki
But-
season 2, brother. That
Loki was good. I thought Moon Knight was good.
I like Moon Knight because I like Oscar Isaac, but I haven't watched Loki season 2 because I don't feel like I mean I liked the first season, but it was not something even when it was going on where I was like I'm gonna consume, so I can't really comment on it. But no, I'm not gonna cancel my subscriptions. Bundled with Hulu, which I use all the time, so it's just kind of like I mean, whatever.
So do you feel like we're at their mercy because of our current the current nature of what services are? There's no more cutting the cable. Like everyone's done that. So everyone has their own service now. Do you believe that that business model is going to ultimately hurt what like the outcry of the fans?
I just think Disney World's really going to have to hurt more than it's already hurting for them. I just feel like they have just an unlimited amount of just pool of money that they can pull from, even if Star Wars isn't making them what they paid for it back. And then some. They just have to go completely off the rails with their projects, and for people not to consume, I feel like I'll keep consuming the content at least once because I want to like it and I want to see how it fits in with everything. But if I don't like it, I'm not gonna. I mean, the Acolyte's not unwatchable for me. I mean, episode 3, don't get me wrong, it's pretty tough,
pretty ridiculous.
but it's not like I'm gonna cancel my subscription type stuff. It's more like, I mean, I'm doing this because I have a podcast. I like talking with you guys about it, and I fill in Josiah because he's not watching it, so there's kind of that for me too. And I mean, it is what it is. We'll get a good Star Wars project eventually because they're gonna keep making them. So,
Well, just to prove my point, Star Wars Theory. I forget what show it was. It might have been Book of Boba Fett, or it might have been season 3 of Mando. But he was on live and he said he was not going to watch any more Disney Star Wars products. He was going to go back to what he used to do. You know, he wasn't going to watch it anymore, blah, blah, blah. But guess who's live right now talking about episode 7 of The Acolyte?
You have beef with this cat?
I don't think she likes Theory, man.
No, I don't think so either. You've made mention of that before. Do you know this cat?
Do I
know
know
them?
him?
Yeah.
No, not personally. I mean, I watch his stuff just so I can sit there and roll my eyes at him, but and it's the same thing. I don't subscribe to him.
Yeah.
But back before he, went into this rage baiting crap that he does, I enjoyed his content. He talked about legends and he had a lot of info. And then he started doing this stuff, and I'm like, oh my God. But you know what? He makes shit ton of money. Has a lot of followers. Yeah, so.
I think
That doesn't mean he's right.
Oh, I mean, he mentioned it earlier, Dana, with how we're super passionate about it. I mean, he loves it, man. Like I was watching right there with him when Luke came back in Mando season 2. I mean, I felt vividly probably the exact same way he did. And I mean, there's sometimes I watch Theory, like in Ahsoka, where he's thinking they're going to bring Darth Maul back from the dead. And I'm like, brother, what are you smoking? What are you watching the same show? Like he's You know, he makes some good points, but his bad ones are pretty bad. But I mean, at the end of the day, like
there's times he says stuff, and I'm like, I'm not the most knowledgeable person in the world. I don't claim to be an expert in Star Wars, but some of the shit that comes out of his mouth, and I'm like, do you not, I'm thinking about, do you not remember that this happened in this episode, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. It's just so frustrating. He'll say, and then on his, because he'll do several spots in a day on YouTube, and I've seen him on TikTok recently. But then he has to try and backtrack, but still make himself look good.
So, and I think we as fans, like, I can relate in a way. Like, this is crazy. So I did a live stream of episode 4. I don't know. One of them I was watching and was like, "What? Oh, that's some bullshit!" Like I was getting pissed off, and then at the end I was like, "Okay, I understand why you did this, but this is not, this is dumb, whatever." So I get having to, as you react. You said, Cam, you watched like alongside, like live. You were had his live stream while you were watching Mando. Or
no, I watched it first, but then I watched his. I mean, I'm a theory fan, even with the flaws. But he.
I like having one of you be a fan and one of you not be a fan. That's always fun.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to disagree with Debbie's points and think he sometimes needs to be a little bit more rational. But
let's get him on the show.
To chill as shit sometimes is what
let's get him on the show.
But. No, I watched it back, and I mean, I still get emotional when I do watch it on YouTube, but then why doesn't he ask who like those type of questions come out of me, and I'm like, why can't I just enjoy this moment for what I wanted to see in 2014, 2016, and 2019? Why can't I just enjoy that? But then I have to start thinking of all these, how does this fit into the lore type deal, which I shouldn't be. Sometimes I think that would make the shows a lot more enjoyable for me, which I've heard a lot of people do. They're just kind of, this is a content in a place in the timeline, and hey, like, we'll take it for what it is. And I think that might be a better outlook, but I mean, like I said, I'm diving headfirst in the Legends. I'm in the Jedi Academy books right now, and I'm liking it. So I'll keep watching and have thoughts, but I want to like the stuff. But as a paying consumer, I will speak if I don't like it, and hopefully not have to backtrack and get flamed by Debbie.
Debbie, this question, right? So Zane and Cameron, really, I'm gonna make a generalization. You all have not known for real, a world without some form of mass media, movies, something of Star Wars being active in your life. Can we agree?
I was prime, like my prime, like not prime, but like when I first got into video games was LucasArts, like probably at its height.
Okay, so that being said, I have a theory myself about all this content that it's Debbie and I's fault. Our generation, because we went with only novels, and we didn't even get those for a little while, and then we had Dark Horse, Marvel Dark Horse switch off, whatever, some comic, and of course damn good graphic novels we got for the Empire not Shadows of the Empire, what was it? Was it Shadows of the Empire 1 and 2? Whatever.
Dark Empire 1 was fine.
Dark Empire 1 and 2. Shadows of the Empire was Darth Zysor, Prince Zysor, and the pheromones and whatever. Yeah, I did my reading. Yeah, you remember Princess Leia and freaking Han's like, what the hell? What's wrong with you? You freaking weirdo over here.
I love that book.
That was a great book. It was fun. That's all we had. So So when we started getting content, even though it wasn't what we thought we'd get, we were just happy to have it. And I've mentioned this, I think, before, but I really think it was our fault for just being happy with what we got. The majority of us. There was always the fringe, right? That were turds. But we were just happy. And so, hey, it's okay. I've seen that. I don't know what that character is, the little ball thing, the NASA Peepo, whatever that little thing is. What is that, Zane? What is that thing called?
It's from a Canadian.
Some whatever. And he's got this like chicken, and he's got this water, like blue water, and he's like, oh, see the potato, and he's like just pouring this water on this stupid stuffed chicken, and it's just coming up, and it's like, this is Disney and this is Star Wars fans. Just force feeding what we're giving you. There was a time, I think, in our generation, Deb, where we were like, okay, awesome, we get content on screen content. That's not just a fan film. We had a lot of fan films. That was what our content was. So you tell us you're now going to make shit that's canon again. We're excited. We want to see it. We know where it's going because we've got the books that tell us where it's going. Oh, wait a minute. I know Zane's like, ugh. So I think it is kind of our fault, Deb, because we did, I think, excuse a lot. Just we were so happy just to have more content.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you because, I mean, the people that wrote, like in the Dark Empire comic specifically, was Tom Veitch or something. He says like, hey, as of now, George has no plans for a sequel trilogy, but me and the other writers for this expanded universe know that if he decides to make his own universe, that these stories will not be a part of it. But they still paid respect to the already established films, right? I think the issue that I specifically have with them pulling from Legends is 6 years ago, Kathleen says we have no source material, but they're actively pulling from quote unquote source material. And it's difficult because you're able to get so much more in depth with the character in a novel, and even a graphic novel too, than portraying it on the screen. But they're taking from stuff that they quote unquote don't see as source material, and then they're making arguably not as good stuff as the previous source material, but they don't have source material. So what is it?
Well, the thing is, and you guys know, I love the Legends, but it wasn't perfect. There's some real boners in there.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that.
In there,
I mean, I cried when Chewie died, but a moon crashing into him.
I did. I cried.
I did. I was that was my bedtime
chapter. I cried.
Stuff. I bawled my eyes out. It was so good. Anyway,
I cried when
Anakin still a
died.
planet, or it's still a moon.
Did you cry when Han died?
In the movie theater? Yes, I did. Twice, because I watched him. I watched it twice in a row.
Dang.
Matter of fact, I watched it 3 times in a 24-hour period because I went by myself. Then I went with my son. And then the very next day, very first showing, I went with a friend. So I seen it 3 times in 24-hour period. And I cried each and every time. And now I have to hop off because...
She's about to cry.
No. No, I gotta go to work, and I'm on a different time zone.
Yes, that's true. Debbie, thank you for joining for a while, though.
Thank you.
And freaking putting us straight, or trying to make us straight. We're all messed up. Yes. Namaste.
Well,
Namaste.
well, y'all know how my brain works. It most of the time it doesn't.
No way. Debbie, thank you for being here tonight. And we appreciate you joining late. And I guess next week you'll join late, and you'll be either happy, sad, or mad, and we'll take whichever Debbie we get. Thank you, Debbie.
Because you just love me that much.
That's right. It doesn't matter. Just give it some Debbie.
All right. You guys
Enjoy your
enjoy the
evening.
rest of the show.
Bye,
For
guys.
sure.
Bye.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna end. Just kidding. No. So, last bit. This is the last kind of segment, and it's not on our list, but it is kind of wrapping up what we've talked about tonight, and that is, are we being unfair?
Absolutely not. I disagree.
No,
Do we own it?
No, sir.
we consume
But we consume it. If I don't like what they've made in the McDonald's French fries, I'm just not going to buy them. I'll go eat some other French fries. Here's the problem. Are there any French fries even remotely effing close to the Star Wars French fries? There's not.
Dude, prime Wingstop fries though, those are pretty solid.
I'm sorry, who?
Prime like Wingstop, Like-
Wingstop?
like 12 years ago.
Are you
type
for real?
Wingstop.
They had some good
Those-
fries?
They were pretty
Wingstop
solid,
has
man.
good fries.
Not as good now. They were pretty
Pretty-
solid back in the day though.
Hey, those Taco Bell nacho fries.
Okay, the fries was like an example. It was just a metaphor.
I'm following.
Star Wars
Yeah,
fries.
we're following. We're following.
Okay, we're tracking. I know it's late.
We're locking in.
I have had a bottle
You're
of wine.
locked
Maybe I'm
in.
not articulating. But yeah, I mean, I think for me that's the problem, right? I mean, there is no other McDonald's fries. There really isn't. And if you like curly fries, you got to go to the Jack in the Box, like
Arby's.
curly seasoned fries.
And you gotta
So-
get some tacos there too.
Even no, those are
99 cents for two tacos.
man.
on the
Charla's like I'll eat those tacos. Don't eat those
Yeah,
tacos.
they're
Those
good.
are bad. They're terrible. No, I think that this episode has been very very difficult for me. It's making me think about things like it's not my story. It's not my story. I've made it my story. I've made it a part of me and who I am. We all have. And that's the beauty of stories like this. We can relate. We can be a part of it. But in the end, it's not ours. We make our story through that and based on that, but it's not our story. We can absolutely vocalize our feelings. This show primarily deals with the dark side, deals with characters that are on the dark side. We spent a lot of time tonight on Kamir, because is Kamir his name? What's his name? What's the actor's name?
Manny Jacinto.
Manny. Yeah. Okay.
We
So
spent more time talking about Kamir than the writers have invested in the story.
Yeah, we did.
we have because why? Like you called the show what?
Yeah, good.
The Acolyte. What have we mostly talked about? Jedi. So where my excitement and my writing at GNN was all, we didn't get none of that. The Terrace Kazi stuff we talked about at the beginning of the show. I mean, they've kind of made it. I don't know. You bring in Carrie Ann Moss and then you offer straight
Well,
away.
That's one of the times where like think about Ahsoka when they brought her to live action. Or like, oh, here's Ahsoka, here's a character you like. Here's a reason to come watch this show, or when she appeared in Mandalorian, right? And whereas in this one, it's like, yeah, you know Carrie Ann Moss, you know Trinity, come watch our show. And we're gonna kill her in the first 5 minutes because we need to show that you can kill anybody. I'm like, well, her death is not impactful, and you're trying to make it seem like it's impactful. And whereas, like in episode 1, a guy that we spend all movie with, that we get to see, like in Qui-Gon, and when he dies, it hits pretty much the same every time because the development of his character is good in such a short period of a film. You know, that's why we're invested when these characters and these stories die. When they die in impactful ways that impact the story, whereas you bring me in because I'm a fan of The Matrix. The Matrix. Just want to put that out there. The Matrix first movie.
That's a whole nother like the Sith Dominion : the Matrix, and we'll talk about it. I love that shit. Go ahead.
And then you kill her in the first 5 minutes, and you're like, well, "What the hell, man? She's on the cover page on Disney Plus."
Yeah,
That's lame. And then you got the soul actor from Squid Game. Sorry, I don't know his name, but he's giving it his all, trying to show emotion for his friends and these Padawans and these people that he brought to him with this planet, and they're all dead, and he's trying to show emotion, and you're just like, brother, you're giving it a little bit more than the script is giving you, man.
yeah.
And Kamir, he says words, but they just don't mean anything. But you can tell he's trying to make it seem like they mean something, but the writing just doesn't get there, you know?
It's almost like the actors are overacting the script because the script is lacking.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you, Lee Jung-jae plays so. Thank you. And
Thank you.
Yeah, Squid Game, fucking amazing. That blew my mind. I had never seen anything like it.
It's an amazing show.
Yeah, sorry, good. Maybe we need to change our show to a more geeky show, but we already have a Geek Gauntlet, so we won't do that. All right. We're going to probably close up shop. We've been on for right at 2 hours. We're not going to run this out. I need to talk to these two afterwards real quick about a couple things. But, guys, it was a good show. Debbie, thank you for joining. Andrew, thank you for your involvement and engagement. You freaking cracked me up. Josiah, how dare you only jump in for a little while and put 2 comments.
I love you,
Janae,
Giuseppe.
Janae, you're good peeps. Appreciate you watching the show again. I guess that's it. I don't know who this Fave the third who gave us some herpes, blood cancer, something diabetes. We don't want you on our show, so go away. Eris Corban, purple Ewok. Oh, how did I miss that earlier? Sorry, kiddo. So my daughter said purple Ewok. Where's my purple Ewok? I didn't show you guys the purple Ewok, did you?
Not the purple Ewok.
Yeah, hold them up, Chuck. Shit.
Whoa, language.
Hold up. Oh, got him. I know, right? Now it's like, oh my god. Okay. Purple Ewok. She totally knitted this Ewok. Check this out, Cam.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you showed that.
Yeah.
Sick.
Purple Ewok. So thank you all for your engagement. And for the 50 plus that joined on Sith Dominion TikTok, thank you. I will be going through, and if you left, if you watched for a minute or more, I will add you and follow you. Anything? Are you about? Who's typing, and why?
What do you think's typing? It's the lore master.
Responding to someone.
Did I miss something?
No, don't worry about it.
All right, guys. Next week we'll talk about episode 7, which is the episode that aired tonight. But Debbie will have watched the final episode when she comes on. We'll see how all that plays out. I don't know. Maybe we do a live stream of the last episode.
Us watching it, but just
Us watching it.
Like, were you watching it or the first time?
First time, 8 p.m. We'll start it. Like
oh.
it will be us watching it. I don't know. That might not be a good idea. We might get banned. Cameron might say some things.
No, man, I ain't gonna say nothing.
Well, not that you could help it. I mean, sometimes the passion flows. That's the whole point, right?
Hey, man, they keep bastardizing the Jedi. I'm going to riot.
Look, we didn't really get into it. I had that on the outline. Like, I do not, as Sithy as we are on this show, it is unfair. And as much as we've called the Jedi out, it is unfair the way they're portraying it. I don't like it one bit.
Amen.
All right.
Let the kids have heroes, Disney. That's what your company was built on.
We got Ray.
And theme parks. Chin the show, Doc.
I know we got some stuff to talk
No
about.
hate to you, Daisy Ridley. I love you.
We love you, Daisy Ridley.
I don't like
We love you,
Brando.
Daisy Ridley. That's right. Daisy Ridley, if you're listening, Daisy Ridley, we'd love to have you on the show, Daisy Ridley. Daisy Ridley. You say it enough, Daisy Ridley, maybe it'll hit the Daisy Ridley algorithm.
Is it like Beetlejuice?
What? If you say Daisy Ridley 3 times, Daisy Ridley, Daisy Ridley, Daisy. Nope. Peace is a lie. There is only passion. We will see you guys next week. Good night.